Good morning. Welcome to another week at the Leaping Fae. Don't check your clocks. This is January and it's time to play with some skeletons. I have to first repair this little guy. So I made these, they're hanging. You can't probably see the filament. They are like fairy skeletons. So I'm going to show how to make one, but first I'm going to repair this little guy whose leg fell off. So I'm peeling off the extra glue. We can't have it broken. If I can fix it, why leave it broken? This is just some hot glue with a set of plastic skeletons that I got at a local craft shop, and some butterflies that were on like a wire for floral decor from same shop. There we go. And we have a little, this one's fixed. I can put that one aside. All right, so we know what we're going toward, and this is what we're starting with. How about that? We got our cute little skeleton. I've got a little butterfly. Now let's see. I'm going to see. I don't know, I only have the one butterfly, so in my other ones I took two butterflies and then paired the wings together so that the underside didn't look quite so plasticky, and so it made a two-sided wing. And I only seem to have this one butterfly right now, so let me check. Digging in my stuff. Well, I do have this one that I painted. I wonder if that would look cute on the underside. We make wings like this, where the underside is painted and the outside is Mariposa Monarch. I don't know, maybe. Let's think about it while we're making it. I don't know. Do they go together? Kind of cool. Kind of like the sparkle. Maybe I put this one on the top, and then like when they're resting, you see this side, and then bam, it opens up to that. That'd be kind of fun. Anyway, so we've got our skeleton, and while he's got these nice swinging legs, nothing else really moves around freely. So I want to put him in a position, or should I say them, because I don't know what gender this one is. Maybe him, because this looks a little small down here. A little small. Anyway, the skeleton needs to be in a position like this isn't like a nice flying position, I think. I think I want to make it look somewhat animated. I want the ankles to be pointed. I want the hip to kind of stay in a certain position, right? So when they're flying, I want the toes to look a little pointed. Maybe one of the knees is bent like the other guy. So I'm going to start with just basic hot glue. I'm going to squeeze it in there, not too much, just enough. Get the leg in the position that I want it to be in. And this one I'm not going to do because I think I'm going to make this the bent leg. So while that one's setting, I've got one of these Kai scissors, which they tend to use for bonsai trees, but they're really great. I used to use them with my rubber stamps to cut the excess rubber off the unmounted stamps. but now I'm always finding something wonderful to use them for. So what's great is they cut through plastic great. So I'm gonna cut right at the knee here. All right. You're always watching me do something that looks like I'm going to hurt myself. And I want sort of a taking off kind of angle, right? So I want the knee to be bent. I'm going to bend the knee before I do the hip joint. That way I can hopefully use the leg to hold itself in place. Okay. This is one of those, like, I don't know. I consider myself an artist, but sometimes I do crafts. I'm not sure if this is art so much as craft. I don't know. How do you define the difference between art and craft? What do you think? I think we do have art snobs who only call themselves artists and separate themselves from craft. But I feel like, I don't know, this is not so much from scratch. Like if I had made the skeleton from scratch, I would consider it more art. Because I'm taking apart an inexpensive plastic thing and redoing it, I see it more as craft. Come on. See, this is what's nice about hot glue. Bam, right? The Emerald Lagasse ingredient of crafting is that it sticks and dries pretty quick. And now we've got, it kind of looks like a taking off position. I do want to get the angle of the feet to be a little more dancer-like, if you will, a little more posed. And I'm going to use the joint here again because it's smaller. Whoop, cut that foot off. I'm going to do one foot at a time so I don't accidentally put the wrong foot in the wrong spot. But I'm going to point his toes like a proper little dancer that he is. So I made some of these for around my house. I'm one of those spooky all year type people. This isn't a Halloween decoration. This is household aesthetic. So I have a couple of these hanging around, the flying skeletal fairies, and then I made one sitting and meditating, and they're inside a glass globe. I'll have to show you that in a photo with this maybe. We kind of sit there with the pendulum doing their work, whatever it is fairies do. Whoop, now we've got left foot. This is coming together pretty fast. Kind of like it. Point your toes, darling. Point your toes. Try to make them look like they're on straight. There we go. So now we've got angled, pointed, and again, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for fun. And like up close, you can see the hot glue, but you know what? Farther away, hot glue kind of blends in nicely, so it doesn't really matter. Now I want the arms to be a little less just kind of stiff. Haha, no pun intended. So I don't know, what should I do? Like Superman pose, give like the one arm straight up in the air, like that's where they're pointing to where they're going, like a good drag queen does. Sans purse. All right, so I'm gonna go in at the ball socket and clip it. I need a little extra snip. All right? So what I'm thinking is something like this. Dun, dun, dun. Make sure his thumb's in the right spot. So he's like, I'm flying. Okay, that's kind of cool. So I'm going to put the glue on the arm though, so I can position it. Get the little webbies off. And while I'm holding it, I want to double check that I put the thumb in the right spot. Look at it from a couple different angles as it's still not set, to make sure that it does go in the right spot. Yeah, that works. That works. I'm still setting. Look at that. Yeah, there we go. Ready for takeoff. Gorgeous. All right, so now the body's in position. He's good to go. What I liked about these skeletons is they already kind of had that sort of abused look, where the dark markings on it made it look a little bit like they were unearthed, if you will. So, I mean, I could go in and put a little more detail if I wanted to, but these are just meant to be quick little hanging crafts. It's not meant to be super fancy. So I'm going to put him aside and look on his wings now. So with the wings, I don't want to keep the little buggy body. I just want the wing part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in right up against the buggy body and cut as much of the wing as I can get. This is not a real bug. This is a fake plastic bug. No bugs are harmed in the making of this project. I don't believe in harming animals. See, plastic bug. All right, so we can discard the bug body. And now we've got one set of wings. I'm going to put them good side down. And I'm going to take the other bug. This one I painted. I don't even remember why. It's been a while. But whatever, I'll work with it. Sometimes part of the fun of making things is like you're in the middle of it, you walk away from it, and you don't remember, like, what was I thinking when I was doing this? Or as my kids laugh at me because I said, what kind of drugs was I on? And now they'll never let me forget it. But yeah, sometimes it is like that sort of moment of, what was I actually thinking? I'm going to try hot glue here. I can't remember if I used regular glue last time. I'm going to go with the hot glue this time, and hopefully it works out okay. Make sure to put the proper sides together, right? Because we want the good side out. See, there we go, quick little wing. Now I'm going to do the other side. Remember to put the glue on the wrong side of the wing, not the good side. I don't think with the way these wings are made, I don't think it would be recoverable if you put hot glue on these. All right, so now I've got wings. Fancy little wing, happy little wing. And what I did on the last one is I just hot glue it onto the back. So the biggest challenge right now is figuring out, do I want to have, so I want to have the wings this way, and then the back is the fancy one. Or do I want to have it where the fancy one is to the front. And this is the surprise. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it this way because I think that when this fairy is sitting and they close up their wings, it goes like this and it helps them blend in better. Although, you know, like for this, it works great with the butterfly. And maybe this, let's say it's like opposite counter shading, right? Maybe when the fairy's flying with the wings like this, it makes it harder for them to see, right? If they're flying like this, if we're like a predator from above, does that make it harder for them to see? Like they can't catch the fairy rather than something bright orange flying around? I don't know. But I do kind of like the idea of how these wings look with the skeleton. So I'm going to do it that way. And I like the idea of his closed wings kind of up. And maybe I can, maybe instead of going as flat, maybe I'll get a nice little angle here on these. How about that? One of the things I'm seeing here that I'm not really liking is this little extra bit. So what I'm going to do is just trim that. I don't like that little black edge around the white. It looks a little, looks lazy. Let's not be lazy. Not in my art projects. I'm gonna be lazy with my art. Trim it all up so they look nice. Make sure I'm not ruining the other side. So, new year, new us. Not really. I don't know why we celebrate January 1st as our new year when it's still only 10 days into winter. And this is our hibernation mode. So I'm going to encourage you to give yourself some grace. And don't try to do a diet or a major life change right now. It's the middle of winter, for Pete's sake. This is a time we're supposed to be resting. We're supposed to be hibernating. We're supposed to be relaxing and not running around doing all this exercise, all this weightlifting, just to end up giving up, because look how much more winter we still have to go. Spring doesn't start until mid-March. No matter what we think Punxsutawney Phil tells us. So give yourself a break. How about you just enjoy winter and be like a bear? Do a little bit of hibernating, grab some blankets, have a nice warm cup of tea, and get cozy. Enough of this New Year's resolution just to make yourself feel bad about it 2 weeks later because it's hard to keep up, because it's freaking January, people. It's January. It's too damn cold to go out and do exercise around here. Maybe not in your part of the world. But New Year should start like when spring begins. It's winter. It's winter. Why are we, just because, you know, it's light is coming back. Solstice celebrates that. We did a wonderful job of celebrating more light in our day coming, but like, it's still winter, people. Look at that. I love it. I love the angle. So you can see they're going to dip up a little. I'm going to put a little bit of extra glue just to be careful that his wings don't fall off. Came out gorgeous, unexpected, different than the others. Look, he's got like a little heart on his butt. How cute is that? There he is, my little flying fairy. I'm not going to rest him on his wings because I don't want them to go very flat while they're still hot. Get my glue gun away from me before I burn myself. All right, so when they go together, you see the monarch style. When he's flying and they're flat, Can you imagine how pretty this would look while he's flying? The little glint of gold flying around. Pretty cool. So the only thing left to do now is wait for him to fully dry and then get some, I use fishing wire, tie it around here so it holds him at an angle, right, like this one, right? Again, you probably can't see it because it's fishing wire. Try to do it against the black so maybe you can. But then that way when he hangs, he's hanging a bit of an angle, which gives him the better feel of flying. One day when I get a 2-camera setup, that'll be a better shot. But for now, we're just going to wait for this guy to dry up like this one did. And there goes the glue gun onto the floor before I burn everything. All right, so how's that? Pretty cool, something fun. Little early winter skeleton fairy project. Wishing you all a happy new year and a reminder to give yourself some grace. Don't set resolutions until spring. How about that? Make it a spring resolution for the new year. Because imagine that. There's a March 21st every year, so why not use March 21st as your new year? Start spring and go to spring and see what you do in that year. Anyway, fairy blessings to you all. I will see you next week. Go out there and take a leap into art. Bye.